from right here where we finally got we own national park on we own island. Plenty of hundred children see me in all kind of national park all around the country and things. And you notice that I've been serving the National Park Relevancy Committee, but you always ask me, well, what park you living in? And I ain't been living there none. Well, now hundred children see, so we had the Reconstruction National Monument. Now we got the Reconstruction National Park. Now, 100 children see on Gullah Geechee TV, when we did the 1 year celebration, y'all see my gal right here, Sister Sonia, being back because she American Gullah exhibit right here. How wanted to do? I'm glad to see you again, gal.
Yeah.
So you to help kick off National Park Week this year.
Yes. And I am so blessed to share the American Gullah collection because, what this park stands for.
Yes.
Exactly that.
Yes.
We were already Gullah Geechee, but then we can also say that we are too American.
I got you. And fought to say that.
And that's right.
Yeah.
That's right. And I said, and our ancestors fought for just the promise.
That's it.
Of freedom. It wasn't to say
guaranteed.
that guaranteed. It was a promise.
Right.
And so to be able to be a part of this moment and this day and time. And then I says, and we have the ability now to pick up the torch of Reconstruction.
There we go. And try to complete it.
There
we go.
That's right.
That's right. Absolutely. And so it's such a wonderful thing. I see the junior rangers here.
Yes,
I see them coming in, getting their little book stamps and all of that.
Yes.
And then I saw a whole bunch of people talking to you about the artwork. What are some of the things that people are intrigued by or that asked you today about your art as it relates to the Reconstruction Monument?
Well, one of the comments that truly touched me is that they could see the hope in the people.
That's beautiful.
That is in the painting.
That's beautiful.
Because that's exactly what that moment stood for.
Absolutely.
Hope. And faith.
And faith. You better believe it.
That's right.
Because without faith, we sure wouldn't be here.
That's right.
That's right.
That's right.
And so, Hunter children know we ain't gonna do them for you now, but we can easily sing. We come this far by faith, leaning on the Lord. And so we're so glad to be leaning on one another and standing definitely in the tracks, the footsteps of we ancestors who've been right here during the Civil War, who've been right here for that, who've been right here through Reconstruction, who this your story truly about and things like that. So when Hunter come down here, you ain't just kind to one park, you're kind to a community. You're kind to a nation. So we still a day and things like that. So Hunter can come here, get not only a stamp on the book, but you can get a stamp in your soul. But yet from who we be, and we be Gullah Geechee anointed people. Truly, we celebrate some Reconstruction today. So go on and find Hunter Park now. This is the week to do that. If you ain't never been to one, get on out there. How Hunter children to do? Plenty of time, Hunter to grind all over the country and things like that. But when you come in the Gullah Geechee Nation, it might be rarely you see this outfit. Now, if you've been like me, you see that outfit, you think of Yogi, ain't it? You say, you're like, where all the bear? Where the ranger doing out here? He chasing a bear. Well, actually, I yet to say, in South Carolina, we do have black bear and things like that, but ain't none named Yogi. And this ain't the Yogi now. This is Scott.
That's right. That's right.
So, Scott, how you doing?
Hey, pretty good. How are you?
All right. So it's so good to see you back on St. Helena.
Glad to be here.
Yes, and for such an occasion as the launch of National
Park Week. Yep, that's right.
So I know I've been celebrating National Park Week for a while, but never got to celebrate it on St. Helena until today. So what's so special about today?
Well, it's an exciting time because we're a new national park site.
Absolutely.
And in fact, Reconstruction Era was just changed to Reconstruction Era National Historical Park.
Right.
And so not only do we have a new name, but we're a new park, and we're just now getting to the point where we're up and running with regular visitor center hours and ranger-led programs. And this is just a week of activities. So we're really excited to showcase this park. And really it's part of a national celebration. So people all across the country are seeing that we have this going on.
Which is wonderful. So now people will go to the website and go, well, wait a minute. I thought I go to the Reconstruction National Monument website.
That's right.
So he just said historical park.
That's right.
What's the difference between the monument and the historical park?
That's a good question. Not a lot of difference as far as how we manage it, but I think the biggest difference is what people's perceptions are.
Right.
If you come to a place that's national monument. Sometimes people think it's smaller. This park also consists of several different sites.
Absolutely.
So a National Historical Park, for some people, that kind of better captures what we are.
What you really are.
It doesn't change a lot. We still, our goal is to showcase the stories of Reconstruction and to preserve these sites.
Absolutely.
And so that hasn't changed, but our name has changed. And I think a lot of people are really interested in Reconstruction, and so it's in the news a lot. And,
Right.
Man, we're excited to get this park up and running.
You ain't the only one.
That's right.
And so plenty of times when you're traveling around and you come to our area now, don't forget, if you're coming down to Buford County, South Kakalaki, right there in the Gullah Geechee Nation, you have some additional things you could see. Because not only can you come to Darrell Hall, which is still here at Penn Center, okay, which is a National Landmark Historic District, but now you also have this as part of this historical park. And then across the road is Brick Baptist Church, which is still in the Landmark District. Then you go back to Buford, which is another National Landmark Historic District. And in the town of Buford, right across from the big old yellow arsenal, is where the firehouse is. So if you've ever toured with me and stopped at the Robert Smalls bust, all you got to do is walk a country block, not a city block, a country block and a half, and you'll be right there where you'll see the firehouse brick building, and you'll probably see Scott in there. Soon you're going to see a lot more people with this outfit on, with their ranger hats and everything. And even if you walk up to them and say, "Hey, ain't you the Yogi that been to talk to Queen Quet?" They'll just laugh.
That's
Right. And they'll let you know, "No, I'm Ranger X, Y, Z," okay, and whatever their names are. And so we're happy that the National Park Service is here with us, partnering with the community, and this is just a wonderful day to really launch it and get the doors open so that people know we're here. And I know, Mayor Murray, you watching saying, "Queen, you forgot a site." No, I didn't. Because the place where this really all got solidified for us is, of course, where y'all have seen me before, at the Emancipation Oak. And so now, if they want their passport book stamped, though, they can't get it stamped at the Emancipation Oak. Where do they get it done at Port
You
Royal?
can get it at town hall. The town hall.
Town hall.
has our stamp for the passport, and someday we hope to have a site over there where you can get your stamp.
Get it stamped right there.
Yep.
And so you see, things are in the works. So when Hunter children are following and things like that on social media, y'all ain't say, "Well, wow, they had all them great pictures up one time. I saw the thing when they launched it and then it stopped." It didn't stop. We're just growing, we're expanding, and there'll soon be a whole network of sites that'll be part of what we're doing. And then you can travel for years and look at things related to Reconstruction. In the meantime, get to your local library, get some books out. I know y'all said, "But I can Google." Not what you can get in the whole book, right? Because the Reconstruction story is so involved, so intense, and it's so wonderful to have people here in this day and time celebrating it right here upon We Island, upon St. Helena. So Scott, keep up the great work.
Thank you.
We're looking forward to seeing the other Rangers that's going to come marching in soon.
That's right. I hope we
and
also
have all the doors open on a regular basis, and definitely this is a wonderful thing. So now, get out there, find your park.
That's right. Really happy to say this, but on behalf of the National Park Service, we're really excited to have you here. It's a special day. We're kicking off National Park Week here. And National Park Week is basically a celebration of our national parks across the country. And it's really exciting because here, this is one of the newest national park sites in the system. So we're very proud of that. And we're in the process of getting up and running and operational. And this national park, I'm not going to go into all the details here, but this national park wouldn't be here if it wasn't for the community support. And we wouldn't be able to be operational if it wasn't for all the community support. So we're really proud to work with our park partners. This park was created in 2017 as a national monument. It was through presidential proclamation. And with recent legislation, our name just changed to Reconstruction Era National Historical Park. And so people ask, well, what's the difference? Not a lot as far as how we manage it. But because of the fact that we have several sites that we do manage that are within the national park site here, the name probably better captures what we do. You know, the two questions we want to answer when people come visit our park is, number one, what is Reconstruction? Okay, Reconstruction is not something that a lot of us got in school. There's a lot of historians that are taking a second look at Reconstruction. And it's about a lot of things. It's about freedom. It's about hope. It's about a lot of work. It's about struggle. It wasn't always pretty, but there were some stories with Reconstruction that were very uplifting. And our goal as a national park is to talk about those stories. Let's face it, if you want to talk about the history of this country, if you want to talk about the story of this country, you can do it through the national parks. Think about it. If you want to showcase the most fantastic natural features, Grand Canyon, the Redwoods, if you want to talk about the history, the Civil War, the Revolutionary War period, and today we're really proud because now we're telling the stories of Reconstruction. The other question that we want to answer that when people come in is why do we tell the stories of why is there a national park site here in Beaufort County? Why here? Okay, because it's a national story. Well, I'll tell you why here. In 1861, Union forces came in, okay, and they took over the area and they occupied this area for the rest of the war. So Reconstruction, the stories of Reconstruction, those things started happening here very early on. Now, did it happen other places early? It did. But I would argue that there's not very many places, and really maybe no place where it happened on such a large scale. Think about it for a minute. These sea islands, there were thousands of people. When the Union forces came in, the landowners and the folks that lived here that operated the plantations and whatnot, they left. And so there were thousands of folks that were enslaved, and they went from being enslaved one day, now all of a sudden they've got their taste of freedom. Not really, though. I always pause because there's a lot of what-ifs in history. What if that would have changed? What if the Union forces would have been withdrawn? When you hear about people that are human beings being referred to as contraband, that's just, it's heavy stuff, okay? But they got their first taste of freedom. And then, of course, Camp Saxton nearby is where one of just a few sites in the South where the Emancipation Proclamation was read, and that made it official. So Beaufort County, this place, it's a national story, but this really makes a great platform to tell the story. So we're excited about that, really excited to be here. This piece of the National Park site, this piece and Brick Church across the street are two very important pieces of that story, and we're proud to be part of that. The Brick Church, we actually manage the outside of the building, but the congregation still uses the church. Happy to have some of them here today, so we work closely with them. And of course, these sites sit here among these beautiful trees, but among these trees is the history that's here.